Marty, and this is my sugar glitter Joe. For most of last year,
I've been keeping a secret.
But now the secret's out. We've cut, we've dyed, and failed, and dyed again, and then painted, and now we're ready for the details.
Do 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 do. Yeah, that was probably horribly off key. Anyway, this is the Shire, which I'm kind of excited about. So I need to figure out how to do the details for the 4 Hobbit holes that I have. Fully realizing that they would not be this clustered together in real life, but we're going for the look. Anyway, I need to size out how big the doors are going to be on each one, what I want the windows to look like, what I want to decorate the front with. So that's probably going to take some sketching out, and some planning. I just got a vision for what I want the Shire to look like, and I'm really excited. Okay, so hopefully I can get the Shire done in a week. Right now I have it timed out, so that way I have 12 weeks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, so I have 12 weeks and there are 12 sections on the skirt. Somewhere in those 12 weeks I will also need to make the bodice. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I have about a week for every section on the skirt. So if I can get the Shire done this week, then I can move on. Some places are going to take a lot more work than others. It's just the nature of the game. The vision I just had for the Shire will take a bit, but it's gonna be worth it. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse while I just play around with shapes and things. I don't feel like you're high enough. Do you see Joe? Okay, so I think I figured out the size that I want all of the Hobbit doors and windows. Everything else is going to get probably glued on top the more that I feel the painted material, the less I think I'm going to be able to actually sew through it. But I'll do some research into different glues and figure out what I need for this to get all of that on. So I'm kind of excited. Let's do this.
I started with the Hobbit doors and basically glued a bunch of yarn in a vertical manner in a circle-ish shape just to get the door shape right, and so that way I wouldn't have to couch on all of the door panels. I could just couch on the details. By the way, couching is the term for the stitch or technique that I'm doing to put on this yellow yarn, which is kind of awesome. And I kind of used it a lot in the Shire and will probably use it a lot in other places, if I'm being honest. I traced out the size that I wanted the windows to be on some light blue felt, so it would look like the sky was reflecting in them. Then I ran a border of hot glue around them and stuck some more yarn on top. Again, so much easier than just hand sewing and couching thing, and I'm on a time restraint. I can't put all the handwork into it. I repeated these steps for all of the windows that I needed, which were quite a few, actually. I wanted to make Bag End or Bilbo's house stand out from the rest, so I used a darker yarn to symbolize a darker wood finish, as well as added some details like some crossbars in the windows to just, make them stand out a little bit. Really, the process wasn't much different than the smaller windows. I did, however, decide that the edging on all of it just was not looking clean, mostly because after I cut everything out, you could see the edge of the felt that I had glued everything to. So I ended up doing a chain stitch with crochet, which gave me a really good braided texture without having to actually braid all of that. And I used that to finish all of the edges, as well as a single piece of yarn, like you can see on the edge of this yellow door. The Shire ended up looking fantastic, but I had a weekend project to do and a studio to clean, so I put it all away, and when I pulled it out the next week, the paint was chipping.
Whew, it's bright, but it's like slightly overcast. So we'll see what the filming is like today. We are in my backyard because I am using smelly glue and don't feel like setting up the garage for it to be in project mode. So this is going to be horrible for filming, but great for my soul. As I enjoy one of these first few days of autumn. I have my anxiety shirt on, and we are going to do something that will either make this project look phenomenal or completely ruin it. I feel like that is every time I work on this project. So let me explain to you what the plan is while we do the thing, I guess. I'll probably do voiceover mode for this.
So here's the deal with the paint. I used an acrylic-based paint, which is great if you're working on a flat canvas, not so great if you're working on a moldable thing. All of my friends who do block printing are screaming. I know that I should have used a latex-based house paint or even a fabric paint, but I was in too much of a rush and too excited when I was buying supplies, so that was not a thing. But because of this, it means that as the fabric moves, the paint will just continue to crumble. And I don't trust myself to be able to paint over it because it's currently not sticking or adhering to itself right now. Does all of this make sense? No? Well, I don't know how to better explain it. Anyway, because this was the situation that I had put myself in, I realized that basically the only thing that I could do to rectify the situation was to cover the paint and therefore lose all of that wonderful texture and color blending and everything that I had spent a week doing. Just use the right tools to begin with, guys. It's a thing. Anyway, back to point. I thought that I could use 2 different colors of yarn to make a kind of funny texture to be the background of the Hobbit holes, and I started gluing all this down with E6000, but I quickly realized that I hated it. It did not look clean, it did not look polished, it wasn't the paint job that I had put on.
So it all kind of failed. I will insert a picture on what it looked like. It doesn't look like that anymore because I pulled it all off, which caused more paint to peel. So I'm going to start focusing on what I can control and what I can think of, and I will do the rest later. So there's that.
The first thing I did, because I knew how to do it and I knew what I wanted and it would just make me feel better, was to make the green dragon. And I made this in a cabin style because I figured, why not? Why wouldn't the green dragon look like a cabin at the edge of the Shire? So the paint is just getting worse. So the plan of attack is to glue strips of fabric down to cover everything. I am just so anxious about this, but I'm going to do it because it needs to happen. Probably with my hot glue gun because I trust that more than the E6000 that I bought. Even though, like, I guess once it's cured it's really good. I don't know. Who knows? We'll figure this out. I'll put you guys on a time lapse. Hopefully I will have the Shire and Green Dragon attached to the dress by the end of this. So when all is said and done, covering the paint with the fabric actually gave it more of a storybook feel. It just changed my original vision for this project a little bit, but it's not the end of the world, and I can actually see some benefits to this. I'm going to go pick up some more fabric later, and we're probably going to finish covering the paint next time. This is your friendly reminder that I have a wonderful backlog, including some more Hobbit videos up, available on my Patreon if you want to go support me over there.